The morning air inside ABC studios buzzed with energy as cameras rolled and producers gave last-minute cues. Good Morning America was live, and the day's biggest guest was none other than Kelly Clarkson, America's sweetheart turned powerhouse talk show host and chart-topping singer. The crowd was ecstatic, cheering as she walked onto the stage in a sleek black outfit, silver jewelry catching the studio lights. Her warm laugh filled the room as she hugged Robin Roberts and waved at Michael Strahan, settling into the guest chair with effortless charm. Everything seemed perfect, until it wasn't. The interview began smoothly enough. Michael leaned in with his signature grin. "Kelly, you've been everywhere lately, your talk show, your album, your Las Vegas residency. How do you even find time to sleep?" Kelly chuckled. "Oh, I don't, I just live on coffee and adrenaline," she joked, earning laughter from the crowd. She talked passionately about her new album, how it came from a place of healing after heartbreak, and how her kids inspired her to keep moving forward. But then, the conversation took an unexpected turn. Michael's next question came with a subtle edge. "You've been really open about going through tough times, your divorce, the transition to hosting, juggling so much. But lately, there have been reports that the Kelly Clarkson show has had some behind-the-scenes drama. Some people are saying you've been distant from your staff. What's your response to that?" The laughter died instantly. Kelly blinked, her smile fading just slightly as she processed the question. "Well," she began carefully, "you know, I think like any big production, there are challenges. We've had changes, we've grown, and sometimes things don't always go perfectly. But I've always tried to treat everyone on my team with respect." Her tone was measured, professional, but Michael didn't stop there. He nodded thoughtfully, then said, "Some of your former staff have said the environment was toxic. I know you addressed it before, but do you take any personal responsibility for that?" A murmur rippled through the audience. Robin Roberts shifted in her seat, glancing discreetly toward the producers. Kelly's expression hardened, not with anger, but with a quiet disbelief. "I think the word, toxic, gets thrown around too easily these days," she said evenly. "Look, I love my team. I've been very transparent about making changes when needed. But I also think people sometimes forget we're all human. We're trying to make something special, and that takes hard work and heart." Michael smiled tightly, sensing the tension. "Of course," he replied. "But do you think fame and success make it harder to stay connected, maybe to stay humble?" That did it. Kelly leaned back, folding her hands in her lap. The air between them grew dense, heavy with an undercurrent of irritation. "Michael," she said, her southern accent sharpening slightly, "I've been doing this since I was 19 years old. I've sung in bars, I've played county fairs, I've hosted a show where I give a platform to others. Humility isn't something I struggle with." The audience clapped lightly, unsure whether to laugh or hold their breath. But Michael pressed again, his tone still light but insistent. "I get that, I really do. But people online have said," Kelly interrupted, her patience snapping. "People online say a lot of things," she said, her voice cutting through the air like glass. "That doesn't make them true. You know, I came here to talk about my music, about my new project, not to rehash internet gossip." Her words landed like a punch. Robin stepped in gently, saying, "Let's shift gears, Kelly, your new single." But Kelly wasn't done. She looked directly at Michael, her tone calm but laced with steel. "I've worked too hard, for too long, to let rumors define me. I've built a career on honesty and heart. I won't apologize for that." Michael tried to smile it off, but the damage was done. The tension was no longer hidden, it was palpable, visible to everyone in the studio. A few awkward seconds passed before Kelly sighed quietly, unclipped her microphone, and stood. The producers froze, unsure if she was joking. But the determined look on her face said it all. "You know what," she said, straightening her blazer. "I think we're done here." She turned to the audience, offering an apologetic smile. "Thank y'all for coming," she added softly, then walked off stage as the cameras captured every second. The audience gasped, Michael blinked in disbelief, and Robin motioned for a commercial break. The screen faded to black as whispers filled the studio. Kelly Clarkson, one of the most poised women in show business, had just walked off Good Morning America. The moment Kelly Clarkson walked off the Good Morning America stage, chaos erupted behind the scenes. Producers scrambled to cut to commercial while Michael Strahan sat frozen, still processing what had just happened. The audience murmured in confusion, half shocked, half thrilled that they had just witnessed live television history. Within seconds, studio staff rushed toward the hallway where Kelly had disappeared, but she was already halfway to her dressing room, her heels clicking sharply on the tile floor. Inside, Kelly's publicist and assistant followed her in, shutting the door firmly behind them. She tossed her microphone on the counter and took a deep breath, pressing her palms against the dressing room mirror. "I can't believe that just happened," she said quietly, more to herself than anyone else. "I came here to talk about my album," and he turned it into a tabloid interrogation. Her assistant handed her a bottle of water, but Kelly waved it off, pacing back and forth. "I'm tired of being treated like a headline," she muttered. "I've given this industry everything. I've been open, honest, real, and this is what I get." Her publicist, a composed woman who'd handled countless PR crises, placed a hand on Kelly's shoulder. "Let's take a beat. You did the right thing walking off. If you'd stayed, it could have gotten worse. You stood your ground, respectfully." Kelly nodded, but her eyes were stormy. "Respect doesn't sell," she said bitterly. "Drama does. That's what they wanted." Meanwhile, in the control room, GMA producers were in full damage control mode. One muttered into a headset, "Get graphics ready, we'll say there was a technical delay." Another producer sighed, "We can't hide it, it's already online." And indeed, by the time the show returned from commercial, clips of Kelly's exit had begun circulating on social media. Someone from the live audience had recorded the moment she stood up and walked out. The video, shaky but clear, exploded across platforms within minutes. The caption read, "Kelly Clarkson walks off GMA after tense exchange with Michael Strahan." The hashtag Kelly Clarkson walks off started trending within an hour. Fans flooded Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram with support, proud of Kelly for standing up for herself. One wrote, "Strahan crossed the line. That wasn't journalism, that was ambush." Another user commented, "Kelly handled that with grace. She doesn't owe anyone explanations about her personal life." By noon, nearly every entertainment outlet had picked up the story. Headlines screamed, "Kelly Clarkson storms out of live interview," and "Michael Strahan pushes too far." Both ABC and Kelly's team released brief statements. ABC's was careful and polished, calling it a passionate discussion that took an unexpected turn. Kelly's team, meanwhile, simply said, "Kelly appreciates the opportunity to discuss her new music but prefers to keep the focus on her art." Inside ABC, executives were livid. A senior producer reportedly told Michael, "We can't afford this kind of drama. You need to fix it." Strahan, who had built his reputation on being charming and good-natured, suddenly found himself under scrutiny. Though he didn't mean to provoke Kelly, the backlash was relentless. Fans accused him of being disrespectful, of talking down to her. Later that evening, Strahan tried to clarify things on his social media. He posted a brief note, "Kelly Clarkson is an incredible artist and person. Our conversation this morning was never meant to offend. Wishing her nothing but success with her new album." But the comment section was unforgiving. "Too late," one person wrote. "You should have shown her that respect on air." Kelly, meanwhile, was back at her hotel, curled up on a couch, scrolling through the flood of reactions. Her phone buzzed non-stop, texts from fellow artists, friends, and even talk show hosts offering words of support. "Proud of you," one message read. "You did what a lot of us wish we could." For a moment, she allowed herself to breathe. The exhaustion of years spent balancing fame, motherhood, and constant scrutiny pressed on her shoulders. But seeing the overwhelming love from her fans reminded her why she started doing this in the first place. She wasn't just a celebrity. She was a storyteller, and people still believed in her voice. That night, she opened Instagram and posted a short message against a plain black background. "Sometimes standing up for yourself means walking away. Grateful for the love, and the music that keeps me going." It was simple, dignified, and powerful. Within minutes, it went viral again, amassing millions of likes. Her fans flooded the comments with hearts and encouragement. The message became a rallying cry, shared by countless women who said it resonated deeply with them. By the next morning, public opinion had shifted entirely in Kelly's favor. ABC quietly reached out to her team, offering a private apology and requesting a chance to make things right. Kelly declined politely. "I've said what I needed to say," she told her manager. "The music will speak louder than any interview ever could." A week later, when she appeared on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, the incident was still fresh in everyone's mind. Fallon, ever the charmer, grinned and said, "Kelly, You've had quite a week. Kelly laughed, tossing her hair. Let's just say I learned that sometimes, the best mic drop, is walking away. The audience roared with applause. She smiled wide, not the polite talk show smile, but a real one. Kelly Clarkson had turned a brutal morning into a moment of empowerment. And for once, the headlines got one thing right: she didn't just walk off, she walked tall.